Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on the cover of Vanity Fair in a borrowed suit and got slammed for that. Now, this is the kind of story that pops up every now and then. Bernie Sanders wearing a winter coat that, isn't falling apart. All of a sudden, he's somehow a hypocrite for wearing clothes that keep him warm. Same thing here with AOC. She's been smeared or slammed or criticized a number of times for wearing nice clothes. This is what she wore on the cover of Vanity Fair. I don't care. And I'll break this down because there is the reactions here and everything else. I will get to that. So let me first start with the criticism. So this is just one example of many that were like this. Of course, these are usually coming from the right because actual socialists understand that being a socialist doesn't mean you can't have nice things, but apparently this is the way that capitalists view socialism. So this tweet out here saying, AOC on the cover of Vanity Fair, the clothes are estimated to cost $14,000, which, by the way, that's not even true. That's all together. The actual suit she's wearing there is $3,000. Again, none of this even matters, but just to be specific here, it's not $14,000. So happy that AOC is upholding the long-established hypocritical tradition of socialists who believe socialism is for poor while they enjoy the fruits of capitalism. So, just to get the obvious out of the way, this is a borrowed suit. When you're on the cover of a magazine, you don't keep the clothes. There's a stylist. They have a whole rack of clothes. They have you try on different things, and then they decide what looks best, and you wear that, and then you give the clothes back, and then you go home. So these are not her clothes. But apart from that, even if they were her clothes, it wouldn't matter. This whole thing is stupid. Let me start with AOC's response here. She says, Republicans are very mad again about my appearance. This time they're mad that I look good in borrowed clothes again. Listen, if Republicans want pointers on looking your best, I'm happy to share. Tip number 1, drink water and don't be racist. So AOC's having some fun with it because she should. This is a stupid criticism that doesn't matter at all. Some of the responses to that tweet are just fantastic, so I'm going to share some of those. This person here says, I'm also always amused by those that seem to believe that people that advocate for socialist policy should not like nice things. Where did this nonsense come from? Exactly. This is, as I discussed at the beginning, this is completely fabricated from the right. For whatever reason, and I really don't understand it, but for whatever reason, apparently if you believe in healthcare for all, if you think that people should have education guaranteed to them without having to go into debt, if you believe that people should be able to live under a roof and be safe, apparently you can't have nice clothes or you can't have nice things. This makes absolutely no sense. The criticism of someone like Jeff Bezos, for example, who is a billionaire, not just he hit a 100 billionaire. I forget, I've lost count now. He's almost at 200 billion now, or no, more than, I don't even know. He has billions and billions and billions of dollars. But the issue with him is that he is amassing all this wealth while his employees are underpaid. So if he treated his employees properly, while there is still an issue with the amount of wealth that he has, if he treated his employees properly, paid them a proper wage, there would be less criticism of him. But even apart from that, the issue is the system, a system that allows billions to be amassed by individuals while the bottom half of society cannot afford to live. That is the criticism. The criticism is of the system. That does not mean that if you have money and you believe that people should be paid properly and should have health care and whatever else, that you should not be able to have nice things. That in no way is that socialism. That makes absolutely no sense. But this is the world that they create. And for whatever reason, people fall for it because they don't spend any time at all to actually think about what the criticism from the left actually is. But it's complete BS. You often see this comic brought up when there's a stupid post like that, because this explains it in a very easy manner here. So you see here, this guy saying we should improve society somewhat. And this very intelligent man popping out of a hole saying, yet you participate in society. Curious. Yes, I am very intelligent. When you have a criticism of society, whatever the hell it is, that does not mean that you cannot participate in society while criticizing it because you want in society to improve. So I believe also part of this comic, a larger piece of it, is a guy who buys a car and it doesn't have a seatbelt. And he's questioning, hey, I think cars should have seatbelts. It seems unsafe. And then this guy pops up and says, yet you bought a car. Very curious. Like, because you want certain aspects of society to improve and you have a criticism of them does not mean that you cannot participate in that system. So again, none of this, these criticisms are just completely ridiculous because they have no actual criticism of what the left is asking for. Why can't people have health care? Why should people be struggling when there are billions being amassed by individuals? More responses here. Mag here tweets out, when I was 17, I worked at an art gallery and helped move a giant painting that was worth more than $50,000. Can confirm that after touching it for 5 minutes, I became not poor. Another one here. Vash has a hilarious reply here saying, I knew I didn't trust her the first time I saw her wearing anything but overalls and a flat cap. My God. By the way, it's worth pointing out, FDR, incredibly wealthy, and did a hell of a lot for people as president. This person here tweeting out, the lighting and camera equipment cost even more, and she got to stand under it for a couple hours. Terrible. Loving these replies. Now, let's get to this. This story actually came out recently. This from Forbes here. How Trump and the GOP moved $8.1 million of donor money into the president's business. This apparently is perfectly okay. And Melania on the cover here of Vanity Fair, perfectly okay if you are a horrible person that steals money from people. If you're a crook, perfectly okay for you to have nice things. But if you want people to be able to have health care, don't you dare wear a nice winter jacket. Don't you have shoes that are new. Everything you got to buy is used clothing. Like, it is so twisted that they completely ignore the obvious here, that the man in the White House and I'd say most politicians in many ways are crooks. Yet when it comes to someone who's actually fighting for people, trying to change the conversation, she's criticized for borrowing nice clothes. Completely absurd.